identity problems. Like, we all understand that. We all understand that some people have problems with their identity. But one thing that we need to get settled in 2021 is our identity. We need to get solidified in who we are in Christ Jesus. That we are sons and daughters. Come on, somebody. See, once you get solid in who you are and you know who you are, come on. You may have had a bad family, but if you come out of a good family and you got a good home, you got a good mama and daddy, you're proud to say that you are whatever your last name is. Because you're solid in your identity and you're not confused. You're happy about being who you are. Come on, somebody. Nothing wrong with knowing who you are. It's not arrogant to know who you are. There's nothing wrong with knowing who you are. Why, even Moses, when God was calling him in Exodus chapter number 3, if you'll go there this morning, just exactly what was said from the back row, the peanut gallery. It happens. It's okay. Exodus chapter number 3, verse number 1. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. And he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of God, even to Horeb. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire. And the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called to him out of the midst of the bush and said to Moses, Moses. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Draw not nigh hither, put off thy shoes from off thy feet. For the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrow. Stop, everybody, look at me briefly. Everything that happened up to this point becomes unimportant if we don't lock in on the next verse. Herein, I believe, lies the problem in the body of Christ today. Maybe possibly lies the problem in your life today. Maybe possibly it's part of the root of the problem of our nation today. This next verse. Moses had already seen the fire and turned aside. God was aware of the situation. So the good news is we have two interested parties. The good news is we've got two people that are interested in something that's going on. But it's not enough just to be interested. While this morning, some of you, when I began to talk about money and finances, you become more disinterested as we went along. Sometimes interest is not enough. Matter of fact, sometimes fire is not enough. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. See, some things slowly wane away. Unfortunately, fires can get down to embers. And fresh sacrifices have to be placed on altars. It's not yesterday's sacrifice that sustains us. It is when we wake up in the morning and take our everyday normal walking about, going to school, going to work, come on somebody, and we lay our life on the altar as a sacrifice. That's when we start living in the kingdom. But if the fire has went away and you have no longer have your shoes off, come on somebody. See, initially, God can touch you, and when he touches you, there's nothing between you. Moses heard the voice of God. He saw the fire. The fire was not consumed, and he turned aside, and when he got there, God had a word for him. Take off your shoes, for the place where you stand is holy. And in that moment, there was nothing between God and Moses. But this next question becomes more important about tomorrow. This very next question becomes the root of the issue for the next day. Come on, somebody. When Moses has to go farther, it becomes more important. Today, he's having an experience. Today, he's having an encounter. Today, he feels the glory of God. Today, he's standing next to the fire. Today, the voice is so loud. But then we come to verse number 8. Moses says this. And I am come down, God said, to deliver them out of the hand of Egyptians and to bring them up out of that land unto a good land, flowing with milk and honey. Flowing. Under the place the Canaanites, Hittites, and Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Yeah. Surrounded. Here's the problem. You're here today, but I'm going to get you to go somewhere else. And the bush is not going to be on fire. And there's going to be a lot of enemies. The place that you go to possess is full of hills and valleys. Mountains and valleys and problems, and you're going to have to face giants in the land, and you're going to have to go, and you're going to have to possess, and you're going to have to face all the ites. The Ite clan's going to come right against you. Look at your neighbor and say, all them ites. Every one of them. Canaanite, Jebusite, Perizzite. Not the parasite. Try to suck the life out of you, though. But all the ites are coming to destroy you. Okay. And he said, come now. In other words, come with me, and I'll send you to Pharaoh, that you may bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. Stop. Here's the thing. God had enemies and he had instruction. He had direction. He had a plan. God had a man or a woman. God had a destination in mind before the feet had ever left the place of an encounter. God had a destiny in plan. A destiny in order for your life. Here's the problem, guys. Some of us have had an experience. Some of us have had an encounter. Some of us have been in the fire. Some of us have been touched. But this morning, there are several souls on your feet that separate you from the closeness. God said, Moses, I want you to be at a place where there's nothing between me and you. I want to be able to touch you without anything else being in the way. And I know many of you have had that experience. Amen. So that's how church works. So when you say something cool, everybody says, let's all try it together. Catching on. You're getting better every week. I feel it in my spirit. So right now, if there's anything between you and him, if there's anything separating you, you have moved away from the place of closeness. But God, after giving instruction, telling him a destiny, told him his plan, told him his purpose, told him he was going with him, here was the question, very key, very key. And Moses said unto God, like some of you are still saying this morning, who am I? Who am I? You are not the only one who has ever dealt with the issue or the problem of your identity. Why, even Moses, the man of God, who had an encounter with God, who was close to God, who heard God's voice crying out from a bush that was on fire but was not consumed. Oh, that's pretty cool. Our God is a consuming fire, but he's not necessarily as of yet a destroying fire. Even though he did say this, I'll have to repent for Sodom and Gomorrah if I let things get to a certain level. Many of you, come on now, I'm going to have to preach right here for just a minute. Many of you complain about the times in which we live. It's checking everybody. You don't know how bad it is. So let me tell you something. If you quit looking back to Sodom, if you could disconnect from that thing far enough where it wasn't having an effect on you and the process of your future. Look, let me tell you something. It's not as bad as Sodom and Gomorrah, and there's still time for God to turn things around in America. We can still have a great America. We can still have a great United States. Come on, somebody. My children can still live in a godly nation. But we're going to have to stand up. And Moses said, who am I? You may be struggling with that this morning. Knowing who you are. Why America right now struggles with that. We have definitely an identity issue. Mr. Potato and Mrs. Potato don't even get a break in the America that we live in right now. We're struggling because we no longer know who we are. And the world looks to the church for the answer, but the church remains closed. Why? You can join us on Facebook Live, or you can look at our smiling face. The church, I even read this morning, one of the greatest pastors that I used to know in America. I'm talking about a voice that used to lead America from the pulpit, used to stand, said this, the church is not necessary. It's just a building. I said, I tell you what, sir, I wish I could sit down and talk to you. Tell me it's not necessary. If I told you the name, every person in this room would know. Every one of you. Where are they going to see the fire? Are they going to call you? Why, you won't answer your phone now. For people that you love. Actually, some of those people are your blood. Y'all ain't going to say nothing. I'm talking about your family. Some of you won't even answer your phone for your family. Come on, church. The church is necessary. It's essential. It will be essential. It will remain essential. And it is essential. He didn't answer his phone this morning. He's got his Bible up. Just Who am I? Just want to know this morning, have you solidified in who you are? Because here's the thing. I think God's calling us to something. I think God has a destiny for us. I think God has something that he wants us to face. I think there's some enemies he wants us to destroy. But as long as we say we don't know who we are, we're never going to be what he's called us to be. Gideon had the same problem, if you remember. Gideon said, I'm the least among all my family. He had a bad self-perception of himself. He did not see himself as who he needed to be. God said, you are a mighty man of valor. He called him something that Gideon said he was not. He said, I'm the smallest, I'm the least among all my tribe, all my family. He said, you don't know who you're working with here. God said, don't worry, I'm about to put you on like a glove. He said, don't you worry, Moses, about who you are. Don't you worry about that. And this thing, who am I that I should go unto Pharaoh, that I should bring the children of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, certainly I'll be with you, and this shall be a token unto you that I have sent you. And when you brought forth the people out of Egypt, you shall serve God on this mountain. And he said unto God, behold, when I come to the children of Israel, and I say unto them, the God of the fathers have sent me unto you, they shall say to me, what's his name? And what shall I say unto them? And God said to Moses, I am that I am. Why? They asked Jesus who he was. And he said, before Abraham was, I am. And Jesus asked his disciples, who do men say that I am? And they said, well, some say. Oh, there's a lot of those. Look at your neighbor and say, there's a lot of some sayers. Some say you're one of the prophets. Some say you're Elijah. Some say you're just another great teacher. Some say you were born in Jerusalem. Some say you're his boy or his girl. You're just part of the family. You're just one of those guys. But some say, he said, well, okay, I understand what they say. He said, but what do you say? Who do you say I am? I am. Who do you say I am? I am. Who do you say I am? Who do you say I am? Here's what I'm trying to get to you this morning. Who do you say I am? Who? He said, well, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. He said, well, Peter, he said, you've got to understand today that flesh and blood didn't give that to you. He said, my Father which is in heaven has revealed this revelation to you. Now you know who I am. I am. Same word that he gave Moses was released out of the mouth of Jesus. When Jesus looked at the religious crowd, the problem they really had with him was, he said, I am the breath of God. I am Yahweh. I am that I am. He said, when you see me, you've seen the Father. He didn't have a problem with who he was. They killed him, hear me, for who he was. I can remember he said 8 different times in descriptive manner who he was. He said, I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. I am the bread. Come on, somebody. He had descriptive. He had a knowing of who he was. He was solidified in who he was. And then the disciples become solid in who he was. The question this morning, are you okay with who you are? And do you know who he is? I don't know if you get this or not, but in Revelation, when the Bible said, behold, I stand at the door and knock, that was written to the church. And he wasn't inside. He's smarter than that, trying to get out. He was outside trying to get in. He said, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anybody will hear my voice, come on, and harden not his heart, and come and open the door. He said, I will come in. He's pursuing you this morning. And they said, who am I? Who do the men say? And what do you say? And Jesus said, I am the light of the world. The light of the world. And he who follows me shall not walk in darkness. Oh, come on, somebody. But have the light of life. He said, I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go in and out and find pasture. He said, I am the good shepherd. I am. And I am the resurrection and the life. And I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the true vine. And then the greatest of all statements in John, he said, I am. 8 times. 8 descriptions of who he was. This morning, you sat here today questioning who you are and who he is. We did not just show up in 2021 struggling with identity. Oh, it may be on the agenda, and there may be something pushing agendas, and there may be demonic influences still trying to, it's always been questioning who we are. Because in the garden, you remember, they made them question what he said. And when you question what he says, you question who he is. Oh, yeah. Whatever follows, I am, starts looking for you. Let the weak say, I am strong. When you release, I am strong, the strength begins searching. Whatever comes out of your mouth, life and death are in the power of your tongue. Let the poor say, I am rich. Here we go again. You may not have anything right now, but when you start saying, I am, you say, well, Pastor, you don't know the mountain I'm facing. Well, good. I'm glad you said mountain, because Mark 11:22 says, have faith in God. Have the God kind of faith. Come on, somebody. Let's just look at Mark 11:22. Come on. For verily I say unto you that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, be thou cast into the sea, shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass. He shall have, come on, I am strong. I am going to have a good marriage. I am going to develop my life as a Christian. I am going to get a better job. I am going to walk in wholeness. I am, come on, everything that follows I am starts looking for it. You're defining what you're getting with your words. Adam, here's the garden. I put increase in you, and I put the ability to name in you. So name what you see. And with your words, it was not a lion, but when you said that's a lion, it became, come on. That's a lion. Well, that's a bear. That's a snake. That's a giraffe. Why is it a giraffe? I don't know. I thought it sounded good. I'd have called it long neck or something. It's a dinosaur, sorry. But what he said, here's the thing. You're saying things, but you don't understand you have definition capability in your words. I know this teaching comes from what everybody knows is Dad Hagin, this thought process, and it's called the Word of Faith. I understand that, but let me tell you something. Some of you could do well to begin to guard your words. I know that this whole thought process has been, listen, it has been mistaught and misrepresented. Well, I will tell you something right now. You can take this however you want to take it. If you're riding a bicycle and you're believing God for a Porsche, you better get a license and learn how to drive a hoopty before you get a Porsche. God's got more sense than to put you in something you don't know how to handle. A lot of us run around, we start releasing words that our character don't have the backbone to carry. And that's not faith, that's greed. Boy, I'm telling you, I felt that one hit home with somebody. Maybe they're watching online. It couldn't have been anybody in here. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever you desire when you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. And when you stand praying, watch this, circle this in your Bible. Write it down on your forehead. Put it on a bracelet and put it on your arm. I don't care. But get this in your sentence. Get this in your vocabulary and make sure you're paying attention to me. Because he said when you're doing this, you're going to have the character to carry it. Forgive. Somebody say forgive. I believe I will. I receive it. I confess it. I thank you for it. And I forgive. Is my mic, are we still live? I forgive. You've got to have the character with the words. God can't release mountain-moving faith to you until you release unforgiveness out of your life, until you let go of what has hurt you, until you move out of your past and quit being anxious for your future. He said, you shall have them. You don't have them yet. When you say it every time, you don't just show up instantly. Every time you speak, it's not a miracle. I wish it was. Like I told one man, I'd love to call you apostle if you were one. But you ain't, so I can't. Well, I've got to get this in your spirit today. We have got to get our character right. I preached a message Wednesday night. It would do you good to go back and listen to. Do you good. How many of you believe that we're here? Raise your hand. No, I just want to ask y'all, was that a life-changing word for you Wednesday night? Raise your hand if it was. You know what I said? God lives in the present tense. God dwells in eternity. Never leaves it, never will. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. That means his character never changed because of the date or the time or the year. Had nothing to do with who he was. So God lives outside of time, and he lives in the ever-present tense. He is eternal. That's big, man. Now, God does not dwell in the past. Matter of fact, Jesus talking about dwelling in the present said, I've got something new for you, because Isaiah said, he said, behold, I'll do a new thing. He said, can't you see it? Shall you not perceive it? Can't you reason it? Can't you get it? Look at your neighbor and say, can you get it? God can't do anything new in you because, listen to me, you're still in the past. And we can't get you out of the past. I can't get you in the present, because while I'm talking to you now, you're thinking about the person you don't want to let go of. You're thinking about the unforgiveness that you want to keep. I'm trying to get it in your spirit today that God's trying to get you to release your past. How could God ever pour something out fresh into your life? He said, I can't put new wine in old places. Old wineskins can't carry new wine. Because if you put new wine in old wineskins, the both of them will bust and be destroyed, wasted, of no use. Look at your neighbor and say, it's not any use. It ain't no good. I'm see if I can get you to do that. They're like, I'm not moving my head right now. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say it. People from up north, when I do stuff like that, they're like, ain't no good. Ain't no good. They'll both be destroyed. Why? He said, I'm coming for that. He said, I got to get a new wineskin for something new. Some of you today need to let go of yesterday. God can't put anything in your hand. Give me those. Give me that right there. Now give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Bring it here. Put it in my hand. Put it in my hand, not on my. I can't get it. Why can't I get it? What? If your hands are holding on to something else, God can't put anything new in it. You got to be willing to let go of something to get something new. Even worse scenario is really, being in the present, but always thinking about tomorrow. Why, some of you have even showed up here this morning and you've not been paying attention, thinking about tomorrow. Why, I could name one person for sure that maybe not be doing that, but I know that tomorrow is on their mind because they're starting a new journey, a larger journey, a bigger journey. It's like this, new thing. So I'm sure that's rolling around in there. Lay down in the bed at night. Some of you know what I'm talking about. While you work all day tirelessly and endlessly. And you think over and over and over again. It's to the point now that you have developed anxiety, and anxiety has become necessary to be anesthetized with a pharmaceutical means. Now your worry has developed into a disease. Now you're held by your future in your present. Now you're no longer dwelling in the now because you are anesthetized. I know what it's like to be anesthetized. Xanax is to lay down and opiates to get up. It's all right. Some of you are still taking them. That's why you're looking down right now. Something to get you motivated and something to get you lay down. It may just be ZQL. I don't know for you. It may be something different. But even when you lay, it goes ticking. Constantly thinking, worrying. Jesus said of tomorrow, take no thought. Why? Because faith is in the now. Here's the thing, guys. Don't move into your next until you outgrow your now. Hey! Let's make sure everybody was awake. That's all right. Don't move until your discipline matches your destiny. I am absolutely excited. Don't move until your character lines up with your calling. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Wait. This is the best one of all, Pastor. Don't move until your private life can handle your public aspirations. Write a book. Somebody tell her, write a book. Could retire on those words. I could retire. I know. I could retire on those words. I don't know how to retire, but I could. At least possibly go somewhere on Mondays while I'm off, besides my couch. I just want to know today, is anybody willing to get in the now? See, here's what I was trying to get in your spirit. Just like Gideon, God was trying to work with Gideon, trying to get him to go do something. God said, I got to deal with who you are before we go. Moses was struggling with where he was, talking about who he was. So he was concerned about who he was because what he was about to confront, because I'm about to go see Pharaoh. And God, you know who Pharaoh is. He's running the world. Who am I that I could go before Pharaoh? Gideon said, I'm the least. He was talking about everybody was around him. And then you got David. David was even in a worse situation than Moses or Gideon. David was surrounded by his family. There's a lot of controversy about why he was still on the backside taking care of the sheep. I don't really want to dive too deep into that thought process because some people really get upset about theological positions, about stuff we really don't have absolute technical information. I wasn't there, and we didn't do one of them DNA tests. But David was not recognized as worthy by his own father to be brought in and shown to the prophet. I love what God said. This part excited me more than anything in the scripture when I read it. He said, you know what the cool thing about it is? Go get your other boy and bring him in, because the man of God, Samuel, heard this word. He said, he spoke over to David. He said, Samuel first, and moved by his flesh, saw the man look like a king. Surely this must be the Lord's anointed. A lot of times we're moved by quick knee-jerk reactions instead of responses. Remember me saying. Looks good. Outward appearance. It's okay. Not bad. Looks like a king. Must be a king. Surely this must be. God said, I don't look at the outward appearance of a man. He said, I look at what's inside of a man. Because it's what's inside of a man, that's his character. What's inside of a man is his heart. What's inside of a man is who he really is, not when everybody's looking, or woman, not just while everybody's watching, not on a Sunday morning for a 2-hour stretch, which I would just let you know, some of you are actually failing miserably at being here for this 2 hours. In case you didn't know, I just want to go ahead and let you know. failing miserably. I'm going to start making you climb a fence to get in here. I'm going to make you want to be here. You know what I mean? Fight for it. Work for it. Would you climb a fence this morning to get in here if you had to? What about if we was charging admission today? Nah, come on now. Just talking. I'm just asking questions. I'm not going to start charging. We're not going to build a fence today. We may have to someday. May have to move to a cave. I don't know. But I'm going to keep doing it. You need to release something this morning. Or you need to quit worrying about something. If I could get you here now, nothing worse than talking to somebody who's not listening. One of my pet peeves, Pastor Ferris said, and I guarantee you right now, she lets me know every time it happens. Like I wish she was preaching this morning for some of you because you'd have done been yanked up and moved to the front where she could get closer hold of you. Are you listening to me right now? If I'm asking you a question, I would like a response. Y'all don't know, but some of you right now this morning are going like this. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. I've been talking, but you ain't been listening. I went Charlie Brown on you about 20 minutes in. And I've been sitting here releasing. I'm talking about verifiable, great information that will set you free, deliver you, and move you into the next realm of your life. And it's been sounding like wah, 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 wah. Y'all remember that teacher, Charlie Brown? He was like, wah, 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 wah. Wah, wah. Y'all got that? You know I'm talking to you, don't you? That's what my wife asks me sometimes. Here's the thing. I get some free time occasionally, you know. My boys, both my boys. Two of my boys. I'm getting to play Call of Duty Warfare with two of my boys. I hadn't talked to one of my boys for how many years? 8 years. Still preach faith. Still have joy. Still walk in love. Still encouraging you. Listening to you talk about your kid won't clean his room and you're having to take Xanaxes to get over it. You don't know how hard it is. I'm like, I ain't talked to my kid in 8 years. You ought to be me. But I don't say that. Why? Because I know the bed I made. I made it. I had to lay in it. And some of you made yours, and you're supposed to be laying in it. You just can't admit it. So now you desensitize yourself by anesthetizing yourself. Anyway, that's a different subject. That's another day. I'll teach you at a different day. Let me say this. We're playing Call of Duty. Joshua, Justin, and me, and his brother, Evan. And Pastor Farrah walked in the room, and she's like, wah, 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 wah. I got an earphone thing with a mouthpiece on it. We're talking to each other. It's so cool. Like I'm talking to my son. I love you, Dad. We're doing it on Call of Duty. You know, it's pretty cool. So it's pretty neat. We're shooting people in the forehead, and we're talking. There's nothing like bonding like that. There's really no better way to get to know somebody. My personal opinion. Just the truth. Yeah. So anyway, she comes in the room. Wah, 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 wah. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I didn't ask you a yes question. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, boys, I'm in trouble. Mom's in the room. I'll be right back. Y'all know? Let me ask you a question this morning. When did you tune me out? Even worse, when did you tune him out? This will help you if you can hear me. Get in the now. God's trying to make moments right now with you, but you're not in the moment. Nothing worse than talking to someone who's not listening. About to hit you in the forehead. And see if it works your ears any better. I can hear pretty good. God is speaking to you today. Number one, God's speaking to you. I'm done. God's speaking to you. Have you heard him? Now that you've heard him, what's your response to him? I know who I am in you, and I know who you are, is the right response. Not, I don't know who I am, and I don't know who you are. Tonight I'm going to deal more with identity, but this morning I just want to ask you this. Are you present? I'm not talking about here this morning. I'm talking about here. Shared a story Wednesday night about vacation. I thought Rob had done got up here. I don't know why I couldn't see him. I was like, I looked back. I was looking for Rob. I thought Rob was here. I was talking about vacation. I don't know why I thought of Rob when I said vacation, but anyway. No disrespect to Rob. Anyway. I said vacation. And I said, how many of you have ever been on vacation? Wednesday night. How many of you have ever been on vacation? Raise your hand. Yeah. It takes me a couple of days to get on vacation after I go on vacation. Y'all know what I'm talking about, don't you? Like, my body can leave my job and me not even be here. But I'll go on vacation and I'm 2 days in the wind down. It's like it takes time. And finally, the third day, it's happened to me several times in my life. Like 3 days in, I'll be sitting somewhere and like just, outside of a restaurant, waiting an hour to get in and not be frustrated about it. And all at once I'll be like, wow, there's birds in the sky. When did they put birds back in the world? Now you better think about what I'm saying, because I figure some of you have experienced that, maybe experiencing it right now. You're just going through life and you're not even seeing birds anymore. You can't hear them. You can't see them because you're so overwhelmed with what's coming or what has been. This is a word, man. This is so powerful. To me, it's powerful. It's powerful. I'm sitting there and I'll be like, man, they put birds in the world. When did that happen? 2 days into vacation. I'll be like, watch, look. The sun's going down. Look how beautiful. I want you to look. There's colors that you couldn't even imagine. Watch it. It's going. There it goes. Wow, that was so beautiful. I hadn't seen that all year. 24 hours a day, the whole year. It happens 2 times. It comes up, it goes down, but you don't see it. But on vacation, you look at it. Why? Because you're trying to enjoy your present. I'm going to say it over here. You're really working on trying to enjoy the now. Because why? Because you have investment. You have investment. And you have, hear me, disconnection. After that happened to me, one time many years later, I was sitting outside of a Mexican restaurant, had a little time, and the same thing, this epiphany came to me. Seriously, I just felt so dumb 2 times in my life. I can remember it. It's just like dumb. I was sitting there outside. Oh, by the way, there will be Mexican restaurants in heaven. I believe that. This is my opinion. My opinion. I'm praying Poncho will get saved. I really am. That boy can make some mad habanero sauce. I mean, man, he can make some good sauce. Anyway, I'm sitting outside this Mexican restaurant. I'm not on vacation. I've had a hard day. It's been rough. And all at once I went, hey, there's birds over here. There's really birds. They still got them. Did y'all know? Hey, did y'all know there was birds out here? They're flying around and landing in trees and making noises. Listen at them. Aren't they beautiful? Chirp, chirp, chirp. Yeah, I know. Making noises. I'm being serious. When's the last time you stopped, paused in the present? You are not promised tomorrow. And you cannot change your past. But you are in complete control of right now. You have every opportunity to walk out this door, and you have His permission to enjoy your day. I don't care what you're facing tomorrow. I don't care what you went through this morning. Even this morning, some of you may went through hell to get here. I don't know what you went through today, but I'm going to tell you something. It's no excuse to stay there. None. If this makes any sense at all to you, and you find yourself drifting through life, not enjoying yourself, come here right now. Come on. Come on, just be real this morning. Say, you know what, Pastor, I've not listened to a bird not one time. Come on. Come here. Come here. Anybody else going to come? It's okay, son. Nothing wrong with this, gal. Not one thing. You say, Pastor, I've not watched one sunset. I've not took time. I've not stopped. You know what? You could stop for just a few seconds, Murray, and thank Him for something so wonderful. You know, one of the people I admire in this church may not even know I admire her. Miss Dina Tipton. You know, she's helped us in this ministry quite a bit. She's sown, she's done things, but you know one thing I admire about her more than anything else? Even though she's surrounded by a lot of things, a lot of issues, a lot of trouble, a lot of trials, I'm sure she deals with things. You know what she does? She goes and gets away. Takes time. Even if it's her back porch. Am I right? Even if it's just her back porch, she'll go out and she'll sit down in a chair and look up and just be thankful. I admire that. You don't find that in a lot of people's lives. Some of you may not be having it. You may be struggling like Miss Sally's struggling right now because she knows her whole life is nothing but turmoil, and she's not seeing the happiness and peace and the joy that's right in front of you. Right now, God's give you something to be happy for, and you just need to be happy. Be happy. God, I pray strength for Sally. If this message was for no one and just you only, Miss Sally, we're glad we did it today. God, I pray that her life will become a vacation. That her life, her every day, everywhere she goes, that she will walk in a vacation. That she will see the joy of that moment. She will look and long for the present. She will be happy in every moment. God, she will hear the birds. She will see the sunsets. She will walk in joy and peace. And she will not have the heaviness of yesterday or the worry and concern of tomorrow. Touch. Just release. Shalabahasata. Such a joy. Peace be on her now. Pour out like her own honey, God. Pour out right now like honey. Shalabakorabasatai. There you go. Receive. God's doing a new thing in you, Sally. You're going to find joy in every circumstance. Joy. Huh? Come on. Come on. Give the Lord a hand. If you're here this morning, and you're here today and you don't know Jesus Christ as your Savior, or you're watching online, I want to give you that opportunity. How many of you are going to commit with Miss Sally to start enjoying your life? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, I'm talking about happy. I'm talking about joy. I'm talking about, come on, you got to get happy. Thank y'all for watching. I love you. Look here, I got a couple of things to wrap up. Y'all are good, Sally. You just keep doing whatever you want to do. You ain't